what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using stock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on Facebook and Twitter, very important as we obviously don't get promoted as much as we would hope, so very important that you share the show as it increases the live audience, but also increases the diversity of the panel, so share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Jose, Sleeping Warrior, The Plain Truth, Zinda, Daniel, Chocolate Sayin, Warren, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Hello. What?
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Hello. So, any signs of curvature? New people on the panel from last show?
Absolutely no evidence of curvature whatsoever.
Nope.
I think you'd have to be a moron to believe that anybody called Miles the Liar Davis is showing you curve. Utter garbage. It's not true.
Fair enough. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No.
Nope.
Stationary.
Sure are. No? Nobody?
No, none.
Nobody going
Shut
to
up.
affirm the consequent? No? Really?
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. Any evidence that you can have a gas pressure without a container for all those people who believe in the outer space that is a vacuum?
Never.
No way.
Only for a very, very short moment.
No?
No.
Yeah, all these people believe in outer space and all the things in that special region that can't possibly exist. Anyway, any evidence of the distance to the sun?
There is no distance to the sun.
Indeed.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up beautifully for us to move on. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
There is no evidence that iron is self-perpetuated. Sorry.
Any
No, I
scientific
think it's the
evidence?
melting part that's self-perpetuating.
Yeah, molten iron. There is no evidence that molten iron is self-perpetuating.
That
What?
as well. Like, it should cool off. How fast would that cool off? Like, it's pretty hard to keep iron in a molten state.
So
I
why
don't
would
see
you
how they
assume
could
there's
be
molten iron
molten.
to begin with, Arwin?
Well, if you would
Yeah.
presuppose, how long could it even last? So you could even, again, dig deeper in the presupposition and still find flaws. It's hilarious. It's such a ragtag theory when you really dig into it.
Yeah, we just call that bullshit.
Yeah.
Lies. This thing is, though, I agree with Nathan. You have the right to choose what religious view you have. And if you want to believe that we live on a sphere, then you're entitled to believe that. Just don't go around telling everybody that we live on a sphere when there's no evidence that we actually do, because that would make you a zealot.
Talking of zealotry, any evidence of the R value, Earth radius?
No.
R.
Only when Rumpus begs it.
It's still being used in their reification fallacy then.
Nathan, we're going to have to diversify, you know. Because now that we've basically pulled apart all of their arguments, you haven't really got a show. We're going to have to do something different. Arwin, take your clothes off.
I don't agree. See, the thing is, no matter what happens on this show, regardless of the fact that we've taken apart all of the globe assertions, the religious belief that is living on a sphere, there's still people out there that genuinely believe it. And that will continue to be the case while it's the mainstream rhetoric. Now, most people don't appreciate that they're being deceived. And in this small corner, we've got it tied down, right? Well, does that mean we stop? Well, no. That just means that the mainstream rhetoric continues to assert what they assert. You know, we're a tiny, tiny little corner of the internet where we are bashing the living daylights out of globeheads on a daily basis, and long may it continue. But there's going to be a period where, you know, less people come into the show to have their heads stoved in, which they do, and you'll have Arwin and you arguing about some theoretical potential of the centre of the Earth or something like that. That conversation will go on while one of these people who's watched the rise of Simon Dan and assumes that they can replicate it and make a living off YouTube debunking flat earthers, they'll come along, suddenly get loads of affirmation from the rest of the globehead zealots out there, telling them that they're genius when they come up with their formal logical fallacy or whatever it is they do, and they'll watch you and Arwin talking about something fanciful, and then say, I could absolutely demolish these guys. They'll come on, and within about 25 seconds, Arwin will rip their head off. And you know, that's how it will be. But in the meantime, there's got to be those lulls for that guy to tune in and go, I could smash these guys. Oh, right, there's a link to join. Right, I'll do that. Oh, yeah, what evidence have you got for us? Gas pressure without a container. What are you talking about? We just know the space is real. Oh, yeah, you've been there, have you? No. And so long may it continue as far as I'm concerned. I like these little calm bits. I know it makes you... It's almost like you get on edge when no one's having a full-blown row. I like these little calm bits between the storms.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate them. But what I don't want people to think is that Nathan's show is dying because blah, blah, blah. Really, we've killed the opposition. We are David and Goliath is dead. We are victorious. We know what they're doing to lie to us and to deceive. We know it. We've shown it. And we can show it over and over and over again because you guys deny perspective. You don't account for it. And that's the problem. If you did account for it, pretty much everything over 20, 25 miles would be gone behind the curve because that's the size of the Earth that they tell us we live on.
I agree in terms of our arguments, but I don't agree that we've killed Goliath. So what we have done is clambered up Goliath as a group, got onto his chest with a spoon and opened up his rib cage so people can see his heart. Well, he's still stumbling around, wounded, but he's still asserting that the Earth is a sphere to absolutely... This is a metaphor, people, right? I don't want to hear about reification fallacies in the comments, right? Son off. It's a metaphor. Anyway, so Goliath's still going around saying, yeah, Earth's a sphere, and boshing them on the head with the TV or whatever it is that they use. You know, that programming is still absolutely rife and rampant. That's what I mean. That's why I pick this format. The lulls are kind of inconsequential to the longevity of the show. There's still the assertion that we live on a sphere. We know it, and people who come on the panel may come and go, as will the globeheads that want to assert it. And, you know, the lull might come at my detriment, me personally, I mean. So, for example, you guys all get bored and go, oh, well, we've won, and you all slowly fitter into the background, and all that will happen is the globeheads will replace you and assert their dogma, and they might very well overwhelm me. You just don't know. But that's part of the fun for the audience, right?
I guess so.
But there is a thing I wanted to talk about, and that is that we have learned so much about globers and how they work. And really, the whole presupposition thing, it's in everything they do and everything they think at. So you got to realize that if we don't allow that, if we don't give them some food, something to lure them in with, they're never even gonna try because there's nothing to get. All their specializations, all their knowledge, all lies in these... I tell you what... hold on. Lie in these presupposition-based lores. So if you don't deal with that, if you don't show like, hey, look at the bird feed, look, it's so beautiful. You can do something with that, then they're not even gonna be inclined to come in.
So yeah, I agree.
Especially new people.
I think what you should do, Nathan, is we should grant Rumpus one last wish, one last meal before we kill him. Be
careful what you wish for.
We will let him beg the question.
I've already done this.
I know, but he hasn't done it.
Okay. So what? One last meal. I'll
Yeah,
just
'cause he hasn't
reassert
done
it
the one
for
that
the
we let
audience,
him do.
Anthony.
Didn't
No,
get to
I don't want
finish
it.
it.
I'm not going to let that hang out there like I've not done that. Right, so I did. So Rumpus was given one last opportunity. He was challenged, Anthony was challenged to go down to the beach and catch his original assertion, which has had like 100 and something thousand views now, where he asks, "What's this? Ireland? Question mark." Well, yes, that might become the butt of a few jokes. Doesn't change the outcome. What he saw, he was then challenged to go to the beach and get. And he did. He got it. And Rumpus specifically stated without prompting that he would be modelling it. It was easily explainable on a ball. In other words, when begging the question and assuming your outcome that you're on a sphere, and then going forward, ignoring all aspects of perspective and putting it in side view and telling you how much of the feet and inches value should and shouldn't be there at the bottom, when he's doing that, I've offered him, begged the question. 6 months has elapsed and he hasn't done it. He
More
just
like
keeps
9.
saying one more day, and I've got that down. I've got a website built with that, all about the Isle of Man. Well, I have given him that opportunity, and he hasn't done it. So I'm not going to give him one, we'll do it with this one now, so we can come on and argue and obfuscate for 2 hours, only to not do it like last time. No way. That was a big deal. I mean, you went to the conference with that as an exclusive. I was right next to you, stood next to you when you put it out in front of the audience for the first time and showed it. It was glorious. And, from that day to this, have we had anything in response? No.
Nope.
Of course not.
Well,
The
let
Earth's
me just
obviously and observably flat. What are they going to do about it? Yeah, they use their reification fallacy and then slap sloop-looming on top of the already begging the question fallacy of R, and the begging the question fallacy on steroids that is 7.6R, and then the begging the question fallacy on steroids that needs a bit of a pick-me-up with 7.6R super-looming. It's like people who want to believe that Isle of Man is a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena hologram, or a super looming non-standard refraction hyena hologram of the Isle of Man, they're entitled to do so. Me, I've had enough of it. I don't need this crap no more. I just see this stuff. Boat. Tree. Island. And I can just say those things without any remorse, without being told I'm a dogmatist. But these idiots come along and say, no, you're a dogmatist if you just say Isle of Man. Because it's not. It is a super looming, non-standard refraction hyena hologram of the Isle of Man. What are you, some sort of zealot? No, I'm not the zealot. Project your crap onto me with your bloody fallacies. No. Tired of it.
Well, let me just say that I've already got the debunk to his model that he claims. I've had it on my desktop for months. And if he ever does get around to modelling how this can happen, I've already got the debunk. And obviously, it's just sat there collecting dust. But, if you believe it, you believe it, right?
So back me up, man. Back me up. Next time he comes in and says, I want to beg the question, use my model, assume my outcome, and then tell you how it works to prove what I've already asserted when I begged the question in the first place and assumed the radius. When you want to do that next, back me up. Just go, where's the model? Where's the north end of the Isle of Man? This on screen right now is my shot of the beach looking back the opposite direction and getting how flat it is. This is the kind of work we me personally included, went to for that observation. Measuring bloody hills. Now, why are we measuring the feet and inches value of this stuff again? That doesn't change angular size with distance, i.e. perspective. But back then, when we were dancing their merry dance to the perspective hijacking, proof of nothing begging the question curve calculator, we were chucking tape measures down things. Well, now, we've done that crap. We've been there, bought the t-shirt, thank you very much. They're on sale, link in the info box. Now, we've moved on. Now, we say no. Why are we using these feet and inches idiot values that you want to use to put us in an orthographic representation of the world? Well, if he wants to do that still, there's still a loose end that he can. There's still an opening in the back door for Rumpus. It's called the north end of the Isle of Man from the beach. Anthony took him with his belly, on his belly, not with his belly, on his belly, and you said you'd model it. There you go, there's your opportunity to beg the question. 6 months you've had to do it. Go ahead. The new stuff, we're just looking at it and revelling in its glory. 80 miles to the Isle of Man now, not a paltry 34. No offence, Anthony.
Ooh.
Hello, Rumpus.
Look who we have here.
Oh,
Oh, here he is. Hello, Rumpus.
Speak the devil.
yeah.
So I just have to tweak something on my bloody machine.
Is it a bit of refraction that you're tweaking?
There we go. So, yes, I've had a bit of a rough 2 months with various illness and other commitments I had to make, but I'm sort of vaguely recovered from my illness, and hopefully, Anthony, within a week. I had the thing done. Well, actually, we had the predictions. You may recall before you even showed us the video, where I told you exactly what was happening.
Did you say you'll have it within a week?
Hold on, I made two.
Since you're at such ill health,
I made two predictions, which
Within
were
a
then going to be
week.
true before you gave me with it. But anyway, the upshot is that within a week, hopefully, Philip and I will be doing a full-blown hangout on this, presenting his ray tracing modelling of refraction, which includes modelling of inferior mirages and all mirages you could ever want. And that hopefully will happen in the next week.
I've got the debunk all ready to go, so ready whenever you are, mate.
Looking forward for before the 2018 ends to look at this presentation, Rumpus. Looking forward for it.
Yeah, we'll be in
looking forward to
2019.
I've got to apologise to Philip. He's always been keen on doing it, and I've been holding him back to try and do a better job. And then I've had.
Make sure when you're ray tracing, you get the diffraction settings correctly.
You don't understand what diffraction is. You've no idea what diffraction is.
Rumpus. Tell us what science is, Rumpus.
Well, actually, Nathan does give the correct description occasionally. Is this the determining what's going on in reality in the physical and natural world? That is, I would say that as a correct definition of science. But then he goes on to just talk about the experimental method. It's not limited to the experimental method. It includes peer review, observations, analysis, and also distributing information. Science is much more than just a scientific method. And of course, Nathan doesn't even understand how a hypothesis works. When I was trying to show you yesterday how you've got two models, you're competing, and you've got some evidence you want to match it against, Nathan's going, oh, no, we can't do the comparison between the two competing models. No, that's not allowed. Because, of course, he knows it will show up the flat earth model being bollocks.
We haven't got a model. We just look at this stuff and see it.
Well, that's Nathan, we need to explain what we see.
I don't need to explain anything that I see.
Well, that's
I just open my... Oh, right. I was talking. I was responding. I let you talk.
You're anti-knowledge.
I was
Nathan.
responding. I let you talk. Second chance.
Okay.
So, if I open my eyes, see a boat, and I say, boat, do I need to explain that?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's what science does. It tries to explain. You have to explain, for instance, how you see.
Proves a cause and effect relationship, Nathan, Rumpus.
You do not. Science is not just about cause and effect.
Yeah, it is.
So, for instance, no, it isn't. I'll give an example.
Please.
Yeah, it is.
I'll give an example.
No, I want evidence. You give us an example.
Give an example. So, if you just wait a second, determining, for instance, the size of an electron is a scientific endeavor.
Mathematics.
That does not.
That's
involve...
mathematics. Size of something, that's maths.
No, it's not mathematically based.
Yes, it is.
Nathan. You're
Yes, it is. Quantities, that's mathematics. That's size, that's mathematics. That's not science. That's not causing it. You're talking while I'm talking. You're talking while I'm talking. That's mathematics. That's measuring things. That's not science. That's not cause and effect.
Yeah, exactly. That's why science is more than cause and effect.
No, that's mathematics. Not exactly agree with me and then assert the same thing. Wrong. That's not science. That's maths.
No, it isn't. Measuring something is not math. You're measuring a physical entity.
Measuring something's not maths. Can someone put that in a quote? The Rumpus. Measuring something is not maths.
Yes, maths does not determine the size of an electron.
Measuring is a deduction.
Entity.
Measuring isn't maths. Just no, audience. You heard it here first. Measuring isn't maths.
So you think? So let me get. Maths measuring being used to measure something. I mean, you end up with...
Yes, that's what I said. Measuring things is maths. That's precisely what I said. But you just asserted that measuring an electron made it science, right? What about if I measure a microwave? Does that make it science? Because it's a scientific discovery that's born that instrument.
What do you mean by measure a microwave? You mean the electromagnetic wave?
Yeah.
Yes, to determine what a microwave
is that science,
and
though? Is that science? Or is that measuring something?
So
that's
what
maths.
You're saying is that science can't use maths without it becoming maths. You don't.
No, I'm not saying science can't use maths. I'm saying that when you measure something, that is maths.
No, it's not. You're using
Oh, right.
that. Well,
Yeah, I've already got it in quotes. The rumpus. Measuring things isn't maths. We've already got that as a quote. Thanks. We've got that. We've put it in our little pocketbook. We'll
You
keep
take
that
a
for later.
deduction.
Thank you
It's
very
a
much.
math-based
No, it's not a deduction. That's the whole point. Oh,
Yes,
you've
it
understood
is. You're
Right,
taking
Owen,
one element of an object
Hold
and
on,
you're
Owen.
then extracting specific data
Hold on, Owen.
based on its
Owen, I'll
size.
credit you here with actually understanding what we're doing here. It's not a mathematical concept. You just happen to end up with a number, and because you end up with a number, Nathan dismisses it as maths. But you're right, absolutely right. It's not. It's a well, I forgot what you said now. But whatever was said, you were correct. It's a physical thing, and you just happen to end up with a number. And Nathan says, "Oh, because you happen to end up with a number, it's maths." No, it's a physical entity which you measure, and it's the physical properties you're trying to determine, and you describe all physical properties with a number. And that's
I
maths.
see.
And then
So yeah,
Measuring
no, I get it
is
now. I
math.
take it all back. So it's got an observation in it. Step 1 in the scientific method, that would be.
Now that's an experiment, Nathan. We're talking about an
Oh
observation.
yeah,
here.
we're talking about science, which is experiment driven, isn't it?
And that's not cause and effect. It's nothing to do with cause and effect here.
Yeah,
Measurement.
that's why it's not science, and it's just maths. That's the whole my point. Yeah, thank you. That's brilliant that you now agree with me. So if we're observing a phenomena, then yeah, we've got step 1 in the scientific method.
No, you have no. That's an experiment, an observation.
No, I'll say it again. If we've got an observed phenomena, we've got step 1 in the scientific method, and you seem to simultaneously assert that that's an experiment. No, that's step 1. That's observation of a phenomena, not an experiment. So just stop trying to correct that an observation of a phenomenon is an experiment, because it isn't. That would be the last step in the scientific method. The thing that you keep asserting that looking at something is, it's not. That's maths, measuring.
What did you say, Arwen?
Not Arwin, Nathan.
Arwen's talking to me.
No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, Arwen was talking to me first.
Well, do you understand that I host this show?
Well, if you behave in a reasonable, civilized
I
manner,
will
then you deserve
behave
more respect.
however I choose. It's my show.
Yeah, that's a little Hitler attitude. You'll behave as badly as you
Yeah,
wish to. In the
okay,
environment
you can call
But
me Hitler.
Reasonable, civilized people
No problem.
don't behave
From
as
now
badly
on,
as they
no
can.
problem. You can call me Hitler if you choose.
I mean, for instance, if I
It
was in
doesn't
your
change
presence,
that it's my show, and if I address you and you choose to address someone else on the panel, I'll kick you out for being
But
rude
Nathan,
to the
if I was in
host.
your presence, I could punch you in the face, but I wouldn't because I'm a civilized person.
No, well, you're
I
not.
have-
You're on my panel. You're not in my presence. You're on my panel. My
if I were in
panel.
your presence, I could punch you and you could say I
You
could do
could.
that.
You could. You're not.
Yeah, I could.
And you
Would
won't.
I?
But you
No,
are
no.
on my panel. So I will dictate. I will be the Hitler here. If you were in front of me, you could be an aggressive toe rag and punch me, because that's what aggressive wankers do. And that's what you're saying you would do, because you are by definition an aggressive wanker, Rumpus. Yeah? So let's not be aggressive wankers. Let's talk civilly, or I'll kick you out. Those are my rules.
Yeah, but you see, your rule, but Nathan. If you behave in an unreasonable manner, lots of people who have controls over Hangouts.
Are you just
don't
stuttering?
behave unreasonably.
You're just becoming a stuttering idiot.
You see, there you go. You see, you're behaving like a wanker again.
No,
when I've got
no,
a hangout,
Rumpus.
I do
Right,
not
last
behave
chance.
in a reasonable
Last
manner.
chance.
I behave in a reasonable manner.
Last chance, Rumpus.
For what?
To behave.
I'm behaving perfectly. I give you a chance to speak, and I give Alan a chance to speak.
You don't give me a chance to speak.
There
That's
you
the
are, you
point.
interrupt me, you see.
Oh,
You
right. I'm going to have to
interrupt.
kick you out.
Okay,
I
interrupt.
give
I've
you
got-
a chance
I could
to
give you
speak.
P900 now,
Yeah, you're now
if you like,
talking
I
over me
can
again.
validate
I've got to
P900.
kick you out. He's
See you
decided
later,
he's going to
Rumpus.
descend the show
Validate
into
P900.
chaos. No, Rumpus, you're not going to descend the show into chaos. It's time for you to go. You no longer have anything to offer. We will see you in a week's time with your crappy model so we can pick apart your reification fallacy. In the meantime, you're not going to talk continually and descend my show into chaos. Sod off.
Literally, he was speaking at 60 words a second before getting kicked out.
Oh, Rumpus.
He only said you're interrupting me once in the entire thing. That must be a new record for minimum use of you're interrupting me.
Rumpus.
Wonder why he didn't make a career as a rapper. I mean, if he can speak so fast, he can maybe rap so fast. So, you know,
I don't think anybody would listen to that.
why not? I would.
He would do good at auctions, I think.
Well, his time on the panel's getting shorter and shorter. Hey, Apollo. Because, Rumpus by name, Rumpus by nature, his only objective here is to rumpus. So he's got nothing to offer. You know, he's been saying he's going to produce this model for months on end. He hasn't. He's come in to tell us 10 more days, right? Yeah, okay. Thanks for the information.
What
What
is
do you
the
know,
definition
Apollo?
of rumpus, Nathan?
What do you know, Apollo? How's it going?
Excellent, excellent.
Any more new moon footage?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, working.
Really?
Working.
I
on a
wasn't
lot of
expecting you to
stuff.
say yes, actually. Cool.
Would you like to share with us?
I think he's on the case already.
Sure.
Apollo, why do we have a side profile picture of you rather than like a normal picture of you front of you? I know why. It's because your camera's on the side of you. I'm not that thick. What I mean is, can you not put your camera or turn so that we can see it? Yeah, like that. Yes, that's a lot
It's
better.
because I can tell you. Can I guess? Is it because you've got quite a lot of cool computers like behind you from that angle?
Bloody hell, have you got a CRT screen there?
See what he told you? From the angle that he's got the camera, you can see all this
That
stuff in the
looks like my
background. I think that's
brother's
why he's done it.
room
Whereas behind
from
it's just
years
his
ago.
bed or something.
Apollo, why do you have CRT screens?
Do you know how to program? Do you know any languages?
Don't know the answer to that already.
You know,
thank you very
it's
much, Hun.
cool stuff. Those all computers.
Because he's a geek. I love it. Geek chic.
Yeah.
When they work, which is getting difficult as time goes on. You know.
Geek
Makes
central.
him feel like he's in NASA control room.
Well, I might.
You just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, but that's cool, isn't it? Come on. No, who's going
I
to lie
grew
and say
up
they've not
in
looked at the
walking
NASA
through-
control room and thought that would be cool, you know, controlling a spaceship? That's cool, right? Don't anybody deny that that's cool.
Cool.
Nah, I was just gonna say it's actually
Very
cool
nice.
you went that far to make it look like that. It's awesome.
So yeah, that's why the camera is right there, and it's a unique angle, so it's kind of cool. I think. You usually just see the front, not the side of a person.
Speaking of cool, I hope I'm not giving away information I shouldn't. If I do, I'm sure I'll get a smack bum for it, but there we go. FE Core showed us some footage from their laser observations that they're currently doing. And while space was cool when I was growing up as a kid and, you know, looking at a NASA control room and thinking about controlling spaceships was cool, that's all nonsense. And I accept that. However, some of the stuff that they're doing is genuinely cool. I mean, when you see some of the equipment, it does make me smile because it is uber cool. You know, they're playing with these really, really sophisticated lasers, and you just look at the pictures from it and you're like, whoa, that looks intense, like literally intense. But it's just cool to be a flat earther as far as I'm concerned. The kind of stuff that's going on around us at the moment is just super cool, and it's real world
Lasers
stuff.
are
You know, it's
cool.
not like this is fantastical green screen flying out into space that doesn't exist. You can't have a gas pressure without a container after all. But this stuff that they're doing on the ground with very real equipment, it just looks and is cool.
Lasers are cool.
Full
Does
panel.
that hurt you a little bit, Apollo, when there's no evidence of a gas pressure without a container? And there's people that believe in outer space and rockets going to space and manned missions and stuff?
Sorry?
Does it hurt you a little bit inside when there, you know, there's no evidence of a gas pressure without a container, so there's no chance of an outer space the way we know. So, you know, there's no man-made space, there's no moon missions, there's no rockets going to outer space to orbit spherical Earth and stuff. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt me. I'm no snowflake that gets triggered by unimportant. Well, that don't really matter, but I mean, why should it doesn't hurt me? I mean, I don't really understand why the rules.
Yeah, it was a misuse of words. Doesn't it like crush your dreams of maybe become an astronaut or go to outer space one day? Maybe there's phraseology.
Not really.
Okay, thank you.
Did for me though.
It does for you, Arwin. Did you cry when you found out outer space is just a dream, is science fiction?
The first 3 times, yeah, definitely.
Shit.
Uncontrollably the first time.
Sorry, that doesn't make any sense. The first 3 times.
It does. No, I did share this, right? I've been awakened throughout my life. There's been several attempts over the course of my life, including when I was very young. Couldn't handle it. I just got really upset, forgot about it again, because I was always just in love with space and the cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons and Transformers and all these space fantasy stuff. I loved that so much. I just couldn't get it out.
I've got to stop you there, Arwin. We just want to know if you cried or not.
Well,
The first time always hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
When I was a little kid, I definitely cried. Yeah. It's really seriously upset.
No, at the loss of space. Not when you hurt your knee.
No, but I'm talking about loss of space. Yeah, when I was told that it didn't exist.
Who told you?
I don't remember who they were. They were adults.
Was it Mark Sargent?
No.
Did they also offer you some sweeties?
That was a joke.
Did they also offer you sweeties?
Maybe. I don't remember. It's very long
There's a lot
time
that you
ago.
don't remember. They must have given you sweeties and then out went the lights.
Yeah,
No.
this is where it's going, Arwijn. You.
No, my parents were there.
Are you sure they're your parents?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise I would no, listen, as a little kid, if my parents weren't there and people were engaging me like that with serious stuff, I would be afraid out of my mind. I was very dependent as a little kid on my parents. So very shy socially. So no, yeah, my parents would have been there, because if they wouldn't, I would just panic. And that didn't happen at the time, but
What do you
my
have
dreams
there,
did get
Apollo?
crushed for
What
a
is that
moment,
film?
and they basically backed off. So
You flash a film or something like that, Apollo? What is that?
Yeah, yeah. I'm working on a project. So what I found on eBay are, I would say, 9 rolls of 30 millimeter film, which is nitrate film used in 1937 to photograph a trip to Istanbul and Egypt. So you have photos taken in 1937 of old Egypt. You can see it here, I realize, maybe if I use my phone. But the interesting thing is that this was taken before many of the ancient Egyptian temples and pyramids and the Sphinx were restored. So the Sphinx was uncovered in 1935. So these photos were taken just 2 years after the Sphinx was recovered. So it was kind of new back then. And before the Sphinx was restored. So most of the Sphinx is still, right now the Sphinx is restored, but these photos were taken before that. And I'm scanning them and putting them online. It are something like 300 photos. So that's very cool.
Can you hold up the film again? Because I only just got you on camera when you were holding it up.
Sure. There isn't enough light for it to shine through, but maybe if I do some magic bit with my phone. No, it doesn't. It doesn't really work.
It didn't, but we could at least see what you were talking about.
Yeah, so these are the canisters. And this is nitrate film, so it's very volatile, it has a very low self-combustion temperature. It's something like 30, 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
Holy shit, so it bursts into flames at that temperature?
I would say about 40 degrees Celsius, it self-combusts. It's very volatile.
Yeah, right. Like in Inglourious Bastards, when she stacks up all the nitrate film behind the cinema screen and sets it on fire.
Yeah. So this is the real deal. And
Sure.
the gases.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. They are going on Flickr. There are already about 100 photos on it, I think. But it's
Can you
a
bring them
very
up? Can you
slow
bring those
process,
up?
You know.
Can you share your screen with your Flickr?
Wait, I've got one way to show the film. So this is one of the scanning trays. And I can just...
Yeah, your camera's having trouble focusing.
No, that's just about working. That's cool. That's good. Just about make it out. Okay.
Yeah.
No idea what it is.
I can share screen. Screen share.
Are they going to be in negatives or?
I reversed them with
Okay,
the
cool.
scanning
Excellent.
software.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, so this is the software I use. And what I use, I can use. Let me check. Oh yeah, so you have these individual photos that have some, how do you call it? Overlap with each other. This one. So what I can use with software is I can stitch them together. So by using 5 separated photos, you get this really expansive view of the area. Right here.
That's pretty detailed.
That is, yeah, really good quality.
Nice
Yeah,
work. So this is all your work, right?
Yeah, this is, yeah.
Wow. It's great. It's been a total geek fest, this show. It's great.
Doesn't want to open. Oh, it's using a different program right now for some reason. So yeah, you have this. And you can zoom in really far. Because I scanned them at a very high resolution. About, yeah, you can see right here, this stitch is 8,000 by 4,000 pixels.
Wow.
So it's really detailed.
Man.
So most of them are just on one side, but some are, I'm not sure if I can find one like this, but the software is smart enough to recognize when one photo was taken above the other one. So it can actually correct for this. So you get this really amazing wide view, not just on one angle, but up and down, left and right.
Is it a difficult task for you to find these treasures online, Apollo?
No, not really. I have several search terms activated that automatically pop up. I'm trying to find another one.
Is it easy for you to discern? Is it easy for you to discern what is the real deal and what is going to be a BS or fake?
So far, I have been. I mean, some things are obviously fake. Like on one auction, there was a computer tape and handwritten on this computer tape with a black marker was Apollo 13 UFO classified data. And that's obviously just
Yeah.
not real. Unless you believe in aliens.
No, I only believe in Arwin and Bilu.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can get really detailed. But another cool thing about these photos is that this was before the place got really commercialized. You know, before it got really populated by tourists. So many of the things haven't been restored, or you can see in the background there aren't any big ugly cities that are lining the horizon. So that's something that I think is really unique, and photos like these you wouldn't be able to take anymore.
No, of course not.
Are you planning on getting views? Like, let's say you got a picture, any picture, and you find the view of the time we live in now, and compare them, maybe put them side by side and see what has changed, what has not.
Well, it's hard to even identify the location with some pictures.
Well, this one would,
Yeah, that could work. That could work.
yeah. And I'm not sure if any of you have noticed, but most photos taken today of the pyramids and the Sphinx are all from one angle. And this is because the only on one angle you don't see the cityscape. On all angles but one you see this ugly city, you know, Cairo, that blocks the view. But when this photo was taken, that city didn't exist yet as it does today. So you have, so this photo, if you would take it now, would have a city in the background, I think.
I don't know, I'm mind blown. This is a really, really good find you got here, Apollo, and thank you for sharing with us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
What's
you.
that black dot?
That's the film. That's just I would say a emulsion blemish or a development blemish.
It's Rahu. Rahu confirmed.
Oh, come on, come on. None of that.
No.
I just messing.
I actually just dropped Martin a line. I tried to ring him, but he's obviously got his phone switched off or something along those lines. I was hoping to get him to join and chat about your pictures, but he's not available. But yeah. This is very
Yeah,
Martin
Martin
Liedtke.
will love this job. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Just point it to him, Nathan, so he can look back to this.
Yeah, I did. I told him the show number, and I'm hoping I can get your Flickr account, and I'll pass that on to Martin as well.
Yeah, and you can come on my show with this type of stuff.
No, you're not going to hijack
anytime.
that. Right, subscribe to Martin Liedtke, Flat Earth British. Absolutely superb. Big shout out to him.
I'd love to have both Martin and Apollo on my Flat Earth Early Bird show. That would be awesome.
You're determined to hijack this plug for Martin's channel, aren't you?
Not really. Of course,
Martin is
Martin
the
Liedtke
right
is
guy.
awesome. Man, he's so much further with this kind of stuff than anyone, and he has these amazing sources. Baffled.
He is the right guy to locate all these the pictures of the Apollo has. He can locate it in the maps. Somehow he got some skills to locate stuff in the maps and match him old story versus now. Really, he's really good researcher on that.
So Martin Liedtke, if you're hearing this, please come on my show.
Hey, I can
And
actually.
Apollo.
Hey, I can send you a link to the Flickr archive, which
Yes,
has
please.
most of the currently scanned photos.
Yes, please.
Awesome.
If you can stick it in the side
Add
chat,
me on Skype, Apollo. If
Are you
have
happy
it.
for me to share it with the audience? Because I'll stick it in the public chat if you're happy for me to do that.
Yeah, sure. So I've got two folders.
Yay.
I've got one with the panoramas that I created, so you have these really amazing wide views. But the software is really intelligent. It can correct for perspective and all kind of stuff. Of course, in this particular photo, the boat was in two photos, so you get part of the boat in one photo. So that's funny. A glitch in the matrix. And of course, the more photos I stitch, the wider you get. So this would be this would look awesome in a really wide monitor, ultra wide monitor. So
How do you know the dating?
Because it's written on the canisters.
Can you show us? Ah, your Flickr account. Yes, please. I'll grab that and give it to the audience.
Let me check.
Sorry, can you back off a bit just so it's just a little out of focus? There we go. Can't quite see it. Can you read what it says on it?
Panatomic. Oh, by the way, this is Kodak Panatomic film. This is roll number 7. The date is 1937. And it says Egypt. Photos, Zeiss, Professor van der Plaats, Utrecht. So these were taken by a Dutch professor. Maybe it was commissioned by the University of Utrecht, or it could be a private trip. I'm not sure. And some other stuff on the canister. Good. How do you say it? I'm trying to translate it. Good intensified, which is, we think these roles have been intensified. So what that means is, if you took photos on negatives, and the negatives were very light, very thin, which means they weren't correctly exposed, it is possible to change, in quoting marks, the exposure by applying a certain type of chemical that intensifies the negatives. So it makes the negatives, it attempts to rectify the underexposure. And we think some of these roles have been intensified. So that's just something interesting what they could do back in the days when they still had to edit photos, with chemicals and with darkroom techniques. All very interesting.
Cool. Thank you. I really appreciate you presenting all that. It was really cool.
Yeah, I do have several hundred NASA photos coming my way, but it might take a few months for them to arrive. I could try and find a photo because I think they will be absolutely awesome. But we will have to find a photo of it. Let's check
Shout out to NASA.
exactly.
Shout out retracted.
Indeed.
Thank you. That took a while.
We've probably only got maybe 5 minutes left, but if anybody can get in touch with Martin Liedtke and just let him know we were hoping to grab hold of him. While that's going on, I will plug the pre-show. So if you missed the first debate, it will replay together with the pre-show, which was very interesting this morning. Well, I would say so. I was chatting away about hi-fi, but maybe not that particular bit, but certainly it was worth tuning into. But that will replay as soon as this live stream ends. Well, it actually goes out about 4 o'clock, which is in about 5 minutes from now. So I'll stick a link in the info box, but that's over on my second channel. So the pre-show and Flat Earth Debate 638 replay will go out at 4 o'clock. And shortly after we'll end this live stream, but we will continue, and that will go into the after show, which will also replay together with this debate and the after show when that finishes on my second channel again, Nathan Oakley, at about 4 a.m. UK time, so that's 0400 GMT. So if you want to check out the after show, that will replay in about 12 hours from now on my second channel. So hopefully some of the guys on the panel now will hang around and chat for the after show. We shall see. They might all bugger off. You never know.
Okay, so what I've got on display here are, I would say, several hundred Gemini photos on a large format 70mm film of the Gemini missions. So I will be scanning some of these and see how they compare to the NASA scan. I think it will be interesting to see if there is a difference between my scan and a NASA scan.
Hey Paul,
Maybe we will find
gonna mute your
that
watch page.
NASA has scanned something
Mute your watch page,
out.
Paul.
What years are these?
I'm not sure of the date. Oh, it says right here, 1963 to 1966.
Okay, so it was dated pre-moon missions hoax. Okay.
Yeah, these are the Gemini missions, which were the missions before Apollo, basically. For Apollo, you have this Apollo 9 70mm copy. So you have the photos on this reel right here. So these are the
Well, it's about $500. The price, eh?
yeah, not too expensive for me and not interesting enough. I would like to have this, but too expensive.
Fair enough.
But yeah, maybe if one with lunar surface photos pops up, I will buy it, but not this one. those ones sell for several $1,000s. So that's about it.
I'm going to leave these guys chit-chatting away, hopefully about more photography and film things. As I say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible, and of course a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. Smash the dislike button, then smash it again. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!